The phone call. A snowy winter night road in Utah, with a car driving through the quiet, deserted highway. Snow falling heavily on the surroundings. A snow-covered highway at night, with a single car driving down the empty road. The snow is falling in thick flakes, and the streetlights cast a dim glow. Close-up of a couple in the car, Catherine looking out the window at the snowflakes falling. A woman, Catherine, gazing out of a car window at large, soft snowflakes falling from the sky, her face illuminated by the soft glow of the car's interior lights. The rearview mirror showing an empty road behind them, giving a sense of isolation. A rearview mirror reflecting an empty, desolate road behind a moving car. The snowy landscape stretches endlessly, evoking a sense of emptiness and isolation. A phone ringing with an unknown number on the screen, a hand hesitating to answer. A close-up of a phone screen showing an incoming call with the label "Unknown Number." A hand is hovering over the phone, unsure whether to answer. A man, Luke, on the phone with a confused, worried expression while driving. A man with a worried expression, speaking into his phone while driving. The car interior is dimly lit, with his hands gripping the steering wheel. A dark silhouette of a mysterious figure watching a car from behind a barn, the car's headlights just visible in the distance. A shadowy figure watching from behind an old, weathered barn as a car passes by in the distance. The headlights of the car shine faintly in the background. A dark, eerie barn illuminated by the faint light from a passing car. A mysterious barn in the dark of night, partially illuminated by the headlights of a passing car. The barn looks abandoned and eerie, with snow piling around its base. Close-up of the phone's call log showing a recent unknown call. A close-up of a smartphone showing the call log with an unknown call from the night before. The screen is dark, the call listed as missed. A person sitting in bed, wide-eyed and staring at the ceiling, unable to sleep after the phone call. A person lying in bed in the dark, wide-eyed and staring at the ceiling. Their body is tense, reflecting a sense of fear and unease. A woman, Catherine, looking confused, questioning the man, Luke, who seems distant and lost in thought. A woman with a concerned look on her face, sitting in a dimly lit room. The man beside her looks distant, lost in thought, avoiding eye contact. The man, Luke, standing by the phone, staring at it with fear as it begins to ring again. A man standing near a phone, looking fearful as it begins to ring again. The room is dim, and his hand is frozen in midair, hesitant to pick it up. A dark forest outside the car window, creating a feeling of unease as they drive through the night. A dark, ominous forest outside a car window. The trees are gnarled and twisted, and shadows stretch across the road, adding to the sense of isolation. A cold, empty bridge illuminated by dim headlights. The road ahead seems endless. A long, empty bridge lit only by the headlights of a car. The road stretches ahead, leading into a dark and quiet night. A phone screen showing no answer after calling back the unknown number, the screen showing an endless ringing. A close-up of a phone screen with "calling" on it, showing no answer. The screen blinks as it continues to ring without response. A shadowy figure behind the window of a house, partially visible through the curtains, evoking the feeling of being watched. A dark silhouette of a figure standing behind a frosted window, partially visible through the curtains, creating a sense of being watched. A wide shot of the car driving through a dense, snow-covered forest with no other vehicles in sight. A car driving through a dense forest, the trees are heavily covered in snow. The forest is vast, and no other vehicles are visible on the road, adding to the eerie silence. A man walking in an empty, dimly lit room, his body language tense as if someone is watching him. A man walking through a dark, empty room, his body language tense and alert, as if he senses someone is watching him. A shot of an old, abandoned barn with dark shadows creeping around it. The windows are cracked and covered with dust. An old, dilapidated barn standing alone in the snow, with cracked and dirty windows, dark shadows cast over it, making it look abandoned and menacing. A tense moment in the car as both people sit in silence, the atmosphere thick with fear. Inside a car, the atmosphere is tense as a couple sits in silence, their eyes darting around nervously. The interior is dimly lit by the dashboard light. A cold, empty phone screen with the missed call history, signaling that the unknown caller is still out there. A phone screen showing a history of missed calls from an unknown number, signaling that the caller might still be lurking, watching. A man standing alone in front of a dark window, looking out into the snowy night with an expression of fear and paranoia. A man standing in front of a window, staring out into the dark, snowy night. His face is tense with fear, as though he feels he's being watched. The interior of a dimly lit room, with shadows looming large, giving off a feeling of unease. A dimly lit room with large, ominous shadows stretching across the walls. The atmosphere feels heavy, as if something sinister is nearby. A close-up of a hand gripping the steering wheel tightly, knuckles white with fear. A close-up of a man's hand gripping the steering wheel of a car, his knuckles white and tense from anxiety and fear. A shot of a flickering streetlight on a deserted road, creating an eerie atmosphere of uncertainty. A flickering streetlight on an empty, snow-covered road, casting erratic shadows that enhance the eerie and suspenseful mood of the night.